call to order the Apache Junction Water District Board meeting. Excuse me. I had to make a telephone and a cough here. Request all cell phones be put on silent, and roll call, please.
Chairman Wilson. Vice Chairman Schroeder.
Present.
Board Member Cross.
Here.
Board Member Heck.
Yes.
Board Member Johnson.
Here.
Board Member Nesser.
Yes.
Board Member Soller.
Here.
I'm here. You have a quorum.
Yes.
You got me here?
I got you there.
Something.
I apologize. All of a sudden, this wonderful tickle came up. Approval of the minutes for May 21st and the June 18th meeting. Do I have a motion for the approval of the minutes?
Your Honor,
Yes.
I move that the minutes of the meeting of May 21st, 2024, and June 18th, 2024 be approved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Roll call.
Vice Chairman Schroeder.
Yes.
Board Member Nesser.
Yes.
Board Member Heck.
Yes.
Board Member Soller.
Yes.
Board Member Johnson.
Yes.
Board Member Cross.
Yes.
Chairman Wilson.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Presentation, discussion, and consideration of resolution number 2024-010. Mike.
Chairman Wilson, members of the board, I'm getting a little nervous tonight. I got a bigger crowd than normal. I haven't seen this in a while. But we're going to present on a public utility easement that we'd like to abandon at 276 South Starr. We no longer think it's necessary for public use, and it's diminished public value. This is located off Starr Road, just south of 3rd Avenue, just south of 2nd Avenue on 3rd Avenue alignment. Give you a little bit more detail here. It's this piece of property here, and shown in red, that has already been abandoned by the Public Works Department for roadway purposes. So now they're just getting rid of the PUE that's on top of it, the public utility easement. So we look to have you guys abandon that so that the property owner can utilize that property. Any questions? Okay. Need a motion to move forward with abandonment?
Okay. Do I have a motion for this resolution number 2024-010?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I move that resolution number 2024-010, a resolution of the Board of Directors of the Water Utilities Community Facilities District, City of Apache Junction, Arizona, declaring a portion of the public utility easement located at 276 South Starr Road, Apache Junction, Arizona, is no longer necessary for public use as a utility easement and is hereby extinguished, be approved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Roll call.
Board Member Heck.
Yes.
Board Member Cross.
Yes.
Vice Chairman Schroeder.
Yes.
Board Member Nesser.
Yes.
Board Member Johnson.
Yes.
Board Member Soller.
Yes.
Chairman Wilson.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Okay. Presentation, discussion, and consideration for procurement of fleet vehicles. Mike.
So this year, the district is looking to replace 3 company vehicles that we have. We typically replace our vehicles every 7 years or 100,000 miles. Less maintenance, we've noticed over time since we've been rotating our vehicles out over this time frame. And during emergency situations, we need to be able to arrive and not have a transmission going out or overheating. So we try keeping our vehicles at, up on their maintenance, and this helps with a lot of this. So we're requesting, these are the 2 vehicles. We're doing a 1,500 and then 2 2,500 service trucks. We're going to utilizing a cooperative agreement with Arizona State Contracts, C2R 059320 and C2R 069474. So staff is requesting approval of $200,000. This price includes the 3 vehicles with the service bodies for those service trucks. And also their emergency lights that go on top of them. Your Honor, any
Yes.
questions?
I need to ask you, so we're looking at 3 trucks total,
That's correct.
right? But you say 3 have the service bodies, but
No, 2 have service bodies. Include 3 vehicles with sorry, yes. So it should be 2 service bodies.
Yes.
Mike, just question, obviously we're getting rid of these older vehicles because of the, the maintenance required. I assume, and correct me if I'm wrong, that these new vehicles will have the full warranties. We don't lose that because they're fleet vehicles, so they get the full warranty?
Correct. Yeah, they'll have the warranties, just like if some purchase off the lot, even though we're under state contract, but they are still have manufacturer's warranties that come with them.
Okay.
Anyone else? No. Okay, do I have a motion?
Your Honor,
Yes.
I move that the purchase of one replacement 2025 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 two-wheel crew cab truck and two replacement 2025 Chevrolet Silverado 2500 HD two-wheel drive regular cab trucks from Midway Chevrolet utilizing the cooperative Arizona state contracts CTR 059302 20 and CTR 069474 and the amount not to exceed $200,000 be approved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, roll call?
Board Member Cross?
Yes.
Board Member Heck?
Yes.
Board Member Johnson?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Schroeder?
Yes.
Board Member Nesser?
Yes.
Board Member Soller?
Yes.
Chairman Wilson?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Presentation, discussion, and consideration for procurement of a dump truck. Mike?
So we would like to replace our 20-year-old dump truck. That is approximately a 3-yard dump truck, so a small one compared to where they are today. We're looking to purchase more of a bigger dump truck that is the size of Public Works, where we can haul about 10 tons in that truck so that we don't have to make multiple trips when we purchase AB. But again, our dump truck is about 20 years old at this point in time, so it's losing its usefulness. It does help us in some situations because it's a smaller truck, but we need to utilize a much larger truck since we're growing. So requesting approval for $200,000. And again, we'll be utilizing a cooperative contract, state contract, CTR 069474 for the purchase of a dump truck.
Chair,
Yes.
is there any reason why we can't also hang on to the 20-year-old truck? Does it have any useful life to it?
We'll be trying to utilize it. If we're not able to utilize it, we'll offer to other departments throughout the city to see if they'll be able to utilize it.
Okay. Be a shame to give up a good asset.
You guys are going to laugh about this, but our existing truck is 20 years old, is stick shift, and many of our new employees do not know how to drive a stick shift.
That's even better.
So,
It's a great fifth.
And the new one's not a 10-speed?
correct. But it's 10-speed automatic transmission, no more manual transmission.
Anyone else? We need to do some lessons on transmissions.
They would have no clue if it had a splitter on it.
Yes.
Okay, do I have a motion?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I move that the purchase of one 2025 Freightliner M2106 dump truck from Freightliner of Arizona, utilizing the cooperative contract with the state of Arizona, contract number CTR 069472, in an amount not to exceed $200,000, be approved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, roll call?
Vice Chairman Schroeder?
Yes.
Board Member Nesser?
Yes.
Board Member Heck?
Yes.
Board Member Soller?
Yes.
Board Member Johnson?
Yes.
Board Member Cross?
Yes.
Chairman Wilson?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Mike, the other deal was better. We got 3 for 200,000.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
If there's, but isn't it the things like the engines that are expensive? Why does one truck cost as much as 3 truck engines? Yeah.
It's a massive truck.
Yeah, this is
Massive
it's a
truck.
big Freightliner truck. It's not the size of those, and there are a lot more
Okay.
components to it, so yes.
To fit all 3 of them into a bed, but. Okay, district managers report.
I have no report, Your Honor.
All right, district directors report. Mike.
So going to give you some updates. We've been working on the Verde River sediment mitigation study for a while now. It's been a few years, so I just want to give you an update where we're at. So the project is slowly moving forward, but we're still on schedule. Still, the dam won't be complete till 2034. 30% engineering design will be done in September, is what we're hoping for right now. We're working through our environmental studies, And then the Bureau of Reclamation is working on its federal interest of water for the project. If you remember, about 6 months ago, I came to you and said we did our allocations here amongst the 22 cities that were working on this project. We allocated out that water. We all agree on that. But now we went to the federal government and said, how much water do you guys need? So our allotment may go down if they want some of that water. So we'll see how it goes. Other cities may drop out. Other cities may come in. It may change as we go through this. But as we get closer, probably in 2027 is really where the cash value, when people have to pay for it, we'll know exactly where we're going to be at. So, but it's slowly moving along. The original cost for the 30% design was $28 million. The federal government funded about $13.5 million of that. We've just recently received a change order to relocate the test quarry where they're going to actually bring the rock out of the ground to make this dam. It's an additional $6 million in costs. And why is it so much to do that? The current one, I don't know if you guys have been up here to the Bartlett Dam, but it was right at the marina here, is where the quarry was existing currently. And it was solid rock right on grade. So they didn't have to dig any down into the ground, didn't have to do anything. They thought that was going to be fine. But unfortunately this year there's a bald eagle nesting in that location. So we cannot mine up that material. So they have changed locations and are going to barge all the equipment across the lake over to this area, which has about 30 feet of overburden on top of it. So your sand and silt and dirt on top of all the rock, they have to move out of the way before they can actually get down to the rock. Benefit of it, we don't have to do a haul road all the way from this quarry. We can actually, it's closer to where the dam's going to be constructed right here. So there's some benefits, but it does cost more for the study to make sure it's going to work. So why do we do these studies? So they're looking at two different options here to build this dam. So back in the day here, the CVC, this is how we did dams. We vertically placed them, and we poured concrete in blocks. And you slowly built it up if you've seen old Roosevelt Dam there, you could see where the old mortar lines were, and it slowly built up. But you have to pour a block and let it cure for 48 hours, a week, build another block, and just slowly build. Well, they have a new system that they've been building dams here in the last probably 15, 20 years. It's called RCC. So they take this rock that we're crushing up from this quarry, and they can actually add a little mix to it. And as you can see here, they can drive bulldozer out on it and drive it and push it into place and then just compact it as they go and add some moisture to it, and then actually becomes concrete at the end, but you don't have to wait for it to cure as you grow the dam. So it happens much faster. So instead of dam taking 5 years to build, it's only going to take 2. So they're looking at these options, and obviously with less time, you save money, so we're looking at these options. So that's why it's important to move all these barges across so we can go over there and dig up this rock. Here's some of the equipment they would be moving over there. And then they have their testing facilities to make sure that the rock they bring up is going to be compatible and compact and make sure that it meets the strength that it needs for this dam that they're going to be building. So pretty important process, so that's why we're looking at it. It adds $6 million to the project. We're working with them on how that's going to get funded. Is the federal government going to fund a portion of it since they did originally? Is it all going to be upon the 22 cities to bump in those funds? Currently, we're in an agreement for 4 years of $100,000 each year. They don't want to put all this one-time price on us, so they would extend that time possibly another 2 years that we'd pay that $100,000 per year. And SRP would fund it up front, and then we'd pay back SRP over that time frame so that they could be fully refunded at the end. Okay. Any questions on that? It's a big project, slowly moving forward. I'm just going to keep you guys updated. These are just new things that came up. We haven't voted on moving forward with that 30%. It comes up to another vote to the committee that we're on with the other 22 cities. I don't think we're going to stop moving forward on this. This is a big project for us and the valley here, the Phoenix area, so looking forward to it still. Okay.
Any questions?
No.
Nope.
Advanced water purification. So we did our preliminary design with Corolla last year. They provided it to us. So as you can see here, we're looking at a few different processes as we move through this. So we have a chlorine. Sorry.
Ozone generator.
Ozone?
That's ozone where your arrow's
Ozone
pointing.
Generator.
Ozone.
Sorry. So that's our first process that we're going to be clarifying the water here. And we also go through a biological active carbon filter. And then we're going to go ultra purification in this next one here, and eventually GAC, which is granular activated carbon, and then through a UV reactor, and then chlorine. So as you can see, this is 6 steps that we'll be going through to treat this water to make sure it takes out anything that's in there. That's why we're calling it water purification. Our existing system, we're only go through 2 steps. We go through a sand filter, add chlorine to it, and we deliver it to our customers. So as you can see, this is a very robust system here. From this, it doesn't even go into our potable system. It goes into our raw water, and we retreat it through our drinking water plant still at that point. Eventually, we may be able to go straight to the system, but they want that engineered buffer between the two at this point in time. So what does this mean? This is the overall picture of what we're looking at doing to build in the future. But first, we're looking at building our pilot study. So we're working on that. So we're going to start construction on the demonstration pilot study trailer that we'll be working on here this year, finish hopefully in January. It'll be located at the sewer district most of the time. But as we have some festivals, Lost Dutchman Days, we're going to bring it up to those events so we can start bringing it to the public so they can start seeing how this process works and treat that water to show them what's going on with it. So this week we were, I'm going to escape out of here. A couple weeks ago, I sent a little video here to Brian and Matt. Hopefully it's there, yep. That gives you an idea what Scottsdale's doing. Scottsdale does this. They have a little facility at their wastewater treatment plant that they actually treat the water. They give some samples out to less than 30 customers, so it's not considered a treatment plant at this point in time. But they also are delivering it to brewery companies. So kind of give you a little insight on this here.
Especially in the American West, turning treated wastewater into drinking water may be the future. Tonight, CBS's Barry Peterson takes us to an Arizona brewery combining classic ingredients with new technology for something truly original.
We provided the beer brewed from ultra-purified water to our taste testers like Jessica Walsh. Just taste one and tell me what you think, because those are the ultra-purified.
I like both of these. This one's really light, refreshing, crisp. It does not taste like anything different. It tastes like a regular
beer.
Any beer.
Except ultra-purified water is made from wastewater and sewage. Do you see a need for
definitely.
creating or using this kind of water?
Yes, we live in a desert.
The Scottsdale Water Department runs it through sophisticated membranes, osmosis filtration, and ultraviolet light disinfection. Used by breweries like Desert Monk Brewing to make a point, says Summer Decker, an owner-partner.
The people who say ugh or do the face contortion are those who aren't willing to try it at all.
So they'll do the yuck thing before they've even tasted it.
Yes.
And then when they taste it, they say,
This is great. This is fantastic beer.
dubious earthlings can note that up on the space station, almost all the water has been...
Ruh-roh.
We're doing so good. Well, you are on the space station.
I guess it is.
That's a disconnect.
It's going to come back.
Come on.
I think we lost our connection. Ends the video there, but as you can tell, the space station, they bring up their fluids with them. There's no other water up there and with the astronauts, so obviously they have to drink their wastewater too, and they purify it to bring it back. So that was kind of the end of the story there for them.
How many times can they recycle pee before it's no longer there?
I believe it just continuously goes up there. As you can tell, there's how many astronauts stuck in space right now? And they're not bringing more water to them, so it has to come from somewhere.
That's right.
So,
Hey, Mike,
yes, sir.
I just got done at the Morrison Institute, and a big part of it was going over wastewater purification. And I asked them, I said, how do we get over the hurdle of educating our people that this is okay? And they're supposedly coming out with a really easy to follow flow chart for the average person, layman, that doesn't know much about water purification. They said they're working on it. It's supposed to come out pretty soon, because they were showing the percentages, and it's going up. Phoenix is at 12%. Orange County's already doing it in California, and it is the future. There's no doubt about it. So we just got to educate our people that this is okay. It's not, in your mind you're thinking toilet the faucet, and that's not it. You know, it's goes through a lot of processes, and it's probably more pure than what we're taking out of the ground.
Correct. Absolutely.
So I don't know. Do you work with the Morrison Institute down there at ASU?
Oh, we have in the past, yes.
Yeah, because I asked them that, and they said that they're coming out with this training for this because they understand that people don't understand it, and you got to get it done in the real simple terms so people can understand the process. So they're working on it.
Absolutely. That's why we're trying to build this trailer to get it out in front of the public so they start understanding this can be done, show them it can be done. City of Phoenix is working on their advanced water purification facility right now.
Yeah, they're up to 12%.
Yeah, but they're actually looking at a large plant that went out to other cities to bring in some of their sewage with their agreement for 93rd Avenue treatment plant, so they can bring it back to the cities, provide that water service back to them. So it's a $1 billion project, but where's our next bucket of water coming from? We're looking for that, and these are some ideas that we have out there. I thought this was an interesting video to show that, hey, people are actually interested in it, reading through it, but you still have people that won't even taste it and say it tastes bad before they even put it to their lips. So
That was cheating putting it in beer, though. Come on now.
Yeah, you know, beer makes everything taste good.
Samples of beer at your, when
Well,
you're
that-
out educating?
Yeah, where is our sample?
well, that's we're headed in that direction as we go to these events. We'll have water purified, and if we can get our brewery online like Scottsdale does, bring that along with them to have people try different things. Again, it's to get their perception, just to take that first sip to make sure that this isn't terrible, that doesn't taste like sewage, it is truly water, and you can drink it. So that's the big hurdle, and hopefully over the next 5-10 years, we can convince people that this can be done.
You know, I thought this was interesting, Mike. The vice mayor mentioned this to me. One time, a while back, the community got a little bit nervous, and he reminded me, you might remember this, vice mayor, but he said, well, Brian, isn't all of our water treated? And I think what you were trying to say is we treat the water we get, whether it's somewhere or it's from the cap, it's treating it, and you're getting it to a standard right now. So some point a long time ago, we were doing groundwater or we were taking it out of a spring and when we treated it, I don't know what that would have been like back then to help people understand that we're treating it to drinkable standards. We're basically doing the same technology and helping people get over the hump. But I like the idea of thinking, you know, from a purple pipe standpoint, what Darren's at, it's almost drinkable anyway. We're just taking it that next step.
Correct.
It's just, how do we help folks keep that same well, we're just treating it again. You know, it's another treatment.
Mike, two different things. One, we do have a constituent that routinely questions the forever chemicals that
Yes.
cannot be removed from the water.
That's correct.
And number two, we can't follow Scottsdale's lead with beer. We got to step it up to distillery, some good whiskey.
And we expect samples.
Okay. We'll work on that as we get going. We have to prove that it works, get the concept down, and we'll work on all that. Any other questions?
Yes.
Mike, tell me about where we are with desalination plants. I mean, I know they're being worked on. Is that an option that could be available to us in the not-too-distant future?
So we were working with an Israeli company, I believe it was, for a little while, that was looking to do a study bringing it out of the Gulf of California to do a desalination plant. The prices come down over time for those plants, but the pipeline to bring it back up here was very expensive also. So they're working on a study to see if that's an option. They also talked about going to California to do it, but the environmental, it's over there, I guess, prohibit some of those things. They don't like the salt brine going back to the ocean because it creates a different environment for the fish that could kill them off or create a better atmosphere for them. We don't know, but they've, at this point, said no to a lot of that. I know there's been recently 4 plants that have been built over in California. Orange County is working through this process themselves with some different things. San Diego has a plant, but they have to go. It took them a long time to get to that point. So that may be an option. The other option is to work with somebody in California eventually to say, hey, you know what, we'll pay to build your plant, but we'll take instead of you pumping the CAP water over the mountains to you, we're going to send it to Arizona and deliver the water here for us to treat rather than using that infrastructure. So there's some different options, and these are all the things we keep looking at and we'll keep moving forward with. But, you know, what's the cheapest way to get to our customers the water that is most treated and most effective for them? So we're working through that process. So we'll continue down that path. We're always looking at it. We're still looking at other Indian tribes to look at for additional water supplies. as we grow here, we don't want to use up all of our existing customer supplies, so we want to make sure they're stable, and we're looking for additional ones for those new customers that, if we get them.
That Morrison Institute, they were talking about hydrogen. Using hydrogen to create energy, and the byproduct is water. And the guy said, I think he said it's like 1/3 the weight of water, or capacity of water, so you can ship a lot of it as opposed to shipping water back and forth. But he said if we use that properly, that's something they're looking at. And to make energy, the byproduct is water.
Right.
So that's an interesting concept.
Yeah, we met with, I think a couple of years ago, they had a setup that it took oxygen, you know, your H2O, and made it into water for you, or took your oxygen, or carbon monoxide, made it back to water, but we're like, well, how many gallons a minute does that produce? Well, it produces like 0.5 gallons a minute, not much. You can't survive on that. Maybe one household can, but for a water system, it doesn't pencil out yet. So we're going to work through some of those things, but that's
I just thought it was an interesting concept.
Any other questions on the subject?
Any other questions?
Okay.
No, thank you.
Quick water system update. So Water Campus 3, which is down in Radiance and Blossom Rock, we started up about 2 weeks ago. This first phase was 4 distribution pumps, which pump out and pressurize the system, 2 recirculation pumps to keep the chlorine and keep the chemicals so that we keep away bacteria in the water going, and then 3.2 million gallons of storage on that site. Bryant and the mayor came down the other day and visited the site. Any of you guys want to stop by sometime? It is complete now. We can kind of give you a quick tour. There's not much there other than a big giant concrete slab because the tank is all underground. So it's roughly about 30 feet deep, as we showed in some of the pictures originally, but it's all done now. It's all paved inside, so you really don't even notice that anything's on that site.
The one thing that is, you know, Mike, if you can make that happen, is they can see the control room, the technology that it takes. Is it called the SCADA system?
Yes.
That shows the line. You know, that how that all works is pretty amazing, and that might be because that's how we manage our system.
Correct. So Brian talks SCADA is short for supervisory control and data acquisition. So it's bringing back all the points in our system, pressure, how much flow is going out, how much chlorine's in the system, brings it all back to one screen so we can control different pumps and how fast it goes in and out, keep those pressures up. You can change everything from that control room and see what's happening in your system. So he sees that's just a small portion of it because it goes out to the distribution system. But as you get to the treatment plant, there's a lot more screens and a lot more involved in that because there's a lot more processes going on. Okay. Any other questions tonight?
No, don't see any.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, district treasurer's report. No report, Your Honor. Okay, since there's no further discussion, I will adjourn this meeting.